Hello everyone, welcome to GS Score. This is Ajay Shah, and in this class we are going to discuss 10 MCQs. Those are important from UPSC prelims point of view. So let's start the discussion. So this is the first question for you, and the first question is from registration of political parties. So let's read the statement. The first statement says, registrations of political parties is governed by the provisions of Section 29A of Representation of People Act 1951. So this is factually correct because Section 29A speaks about all the detailed provisions and procedure with respect to registrations of political party in our country. Fine. The second statement says, an association seeking registration has to submit an application to the Commission within a period of 6 months following the date of its formation. So this is factually incorrect because the time limit for registration is not 6 months but it is 30 days. So statement 2 is wrong. So option A will be the correct answer here. Now let us add some value addition. So India is a parliamentary democracy with a multi-party system, and political party holds lot of gravity in our governance system. So we can understood the weightage of political party from the simple fact from the recent incident. After Indo-China dispute, Prime Minister of India, he called all party meeting in which 20 parties were invited. So this shows that how much weightage a political party holds in our country. So as of today, we have approximately 2,600 political parties in India, in which 8 political parties are national parties. That is Congress, BJP, BSP, CPI, CPIM, NCP, AITC, that is Trinamool Congress, and NPP, which has been the latest addition. Apart from this, we have approximately 50 state parties, and 2,500 parties are unrecognized parties, but they are registered parties. Now, why this is in news? Because recently Election Commission of India has launched a portal, that is Political Party Registration Tracking Management System. As per this portal, any association which has to register itself as a political party can now go in a digital mode. That is, the association can track everything via digital mode, that is SMS, email, etc. Fine. So now let's move to the next question. So this question is on Khadi and Village Industries Commission. So let us read the statement. The first statement says it comes under the administrative control of Ministry of Textile. So this is very easy to answer because KVIC is within the administrative control of Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises. Fine, MSME. So first statement is wrong. Now the second statement, a separate harmonized system code by the Commerce and Industry Ministry has been allotted to KVIC. So this is factually correct because this was in news. So statement 2 is correct. So only B will be the correct answer. Now let us now go to little detail into this. So what is KVIC? KVIC is nothing. KVIC is a statutory body that was formed by Act of a Parliament, and the name of that act is Khadi and Village Industries Commission Act of 1956. It's an apex organization which comes under the administrative control of Ministry of MSME. And now what is the objective of KVIC? The objective of KVIC is to plan, promote, organize and assist in the establishment and development of Khadi and village industries in rural areas with an objective of rural development. Fine. So KVIC basically looks after rural development. The prime objective is rural development. Now, what is this harmonized system? This system, which you see in this, the separate harmonized system. So this is nothing but when we speak about harmonized system, then harmonized system is nothing but it's a 6-digit identification code that is allotted by World Customs Organization. And what is the significance of this unique code? The significance of this unique code is that by the use of this code, we can differentiate between commodities. Now, why this has been news and why it is important as far as export of Khadi product is concerned? Because before today, the Khadi products, they all were clubbed with normal fabric, normal textile. But now onwards, Khadi will have its own code, own harmonized system code. And so it will boost the export of Khadi products. And it will also help us to keep a better track in the export of the Khadi products. That's all. So now let's move to the next question. So this question is on Shala Darpan portal. Fine. So let us see the first statement. It provides an integrated platform to meet the educational and administrative needs of all stakeholders. So that's absolutely correct. Now let us see the second statement. It has been launched by Union Ministry of HRD for Kendriya Vidyalaya Samiti. So Shala Darpan portal has been launched by Ministry of HRD, but that is not for Kendriya Vidyalaya Samiti, but that is for Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti in India. So statement 2 is factually incorrect here. Now let us see the third statement. It's a duplex communication, that means two-way communication system capable of sending and receiving effective dialogue between every stakeholder. So this is correct because Shala Darpan portal has two-way communication system. So statement 1 and 3 are correct. That is correct answer will be option 3. Now let us go to a little deeper. Now what do you mean by Navodaya Vidyalaya? So Navodaya Vidyalaya are co-ed schools, co-ed residential schools established by Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, which is what? Which is an autonomous organization which function under Ministry of Human Resource, and the purpose of Navodaya Vidyalaya is to provide quality modern education. In fact, Navodaya Vidyalayas have consistently produced IAS officers in our country, and it's a very famous school if you talk about the schooling system within the control of government. Now, what is Shala Darpan? This portal, Shala Darpan portal is an integrated platform. Okay, it is an integrated platform to meet the educational and administrative needs of all the stakeholders. Now, what is the meaning of stakeholders? Stakeholders means whoever who have some stake in this Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, that is students, teachers, and even the parents. Now it's a duplex communication system in which there will be two-way communication, and the major component of this Shala portal is all the 636 websites of Navodaya Vidyalaya across the country. Now this portal will contain information related to service record, transfer, posting, disciplinary action, ACR tracking, etc. Apart from this, it will also track stuffs like hostel accommodation, hostel conditions, and all. And apart from this, this portal is also going to strengthen the budget and financial management system of Navodaya Vidyalaya Samiti, and this will bring a kind of transparency in the evaluation of teacher and students also. Okay, so let's move to the next question. So this question is based on a central scheme, that is Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana. So let us now read the statements. The first is Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana is a maternity benefit program being implemented in all the districts of the country. So this is correct because from 2017 onwards, this scheme has been launched in all the districts of our country. So statement 1 is correct. Now let us see statement 2. Recently, Haryana was awarded the first position in the category of best performer. So this is factually incorrect because it is not Haryana, but it is the Madhya Pradesh which has scored rank one in the category of best performer. Now the third statement, it is only for the first living child of the family. So this is correct because this scheme can be availed only for the first living child of the family with respect to few conditions. Now let us go to little deeper. So Pradhan Mantri Matru Vandana Yojana, this scheme is nothing but this scheme is a scheme in which a cash incentive of rupees 5,000 is provided directly to the bank or post office account to the pregnant woman and lactating mother for the first living child, subjected to some specific conditions related to maternal and child health. Now the focal point of implementation of this scheme is on Anganwadi center and ASHA worker. Now, if we talk about the performance of the state, then there are basically two categories. In the first category, we have the performer where population is more than 1 crore. Now, where the population is more than 1 crore, Madhya Pradesh has occupied the first rank, and it is followed by Andhra Pradesh, and Haryana is in third position. And if you talk about all the states and union territories where population is less than 1 crore, then Dadar and Nagar Haveli is in the first position, Himachal is in the second position, and Chandigarh is in the third position. If we talk about the performance of districts, then the districts where the population is more than 1 crore, in such category, Indore is at rank 1. And if you talk about the districts where population is less than 1 crore, then in such district, the first position went to Serchhip in Mizoram. Okay, so that's all. So we'll move to the next question. So this question is based on Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana. So let's read the statement. Under the Yojana, members of parliament are responsible for developing the socio-economic and physical infrastructure of 3 villages each. So this is very correct. Under this Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana, a member of parliament, they're expected to bring development in at least 3 villages. Now the second statement, nominated member of parliament choose a gram panchayat from the rural area of the districts in which their name belongs in the electoral roll of the country. So this is factually incorrect because the nominated members of either Lok Sabha or Raj Sabha, they can choose any village across the country and there is no restriction of district or state for the nominated members. So only one is the correct answer, that is option A is the correct answer. Now let us go to a little deeper. So what is Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana? Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana is nothing, but it's a scheme which was launched by Prime Minister of India on 11th October 2014 on the birth anniversary of Jayaprakash Narayan. So Jayaprakash Narayan is a very famous leader, and the NDA government, it has genesis with Jayaprakash Narayan in the total revolution which was during the time of emergency. So on the birth anniversary of Jayaprakash Narayan, Prime Minister of India has launched Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana. Now under this scheme, members of parliament are responsible for developing the socio-economic and physical infrastructure of 3 villages each by 2019 and total of 8 villages by 2024. Now the first Adarsh village, that is first model village, has to be developed by 2016 and 2 more by 2019. That is up to 2019, total 3 villages have to be developed. Now from 2019 to 2024, 5 more Adarsh Grams must be developed by each member of parliament in each year. So the total implication and the crux is that under this scheme, total 6,433 Adarsh Gram out of 2,65,000 gram panchayats will be created by 2024. Now as far as responsibility is concerned, then a Lok Sabha member of Lok Sabha who is elected Lok Sabha, he has to choose any gram panchayat but within his constituency. Now Rajya Sabha MP can choose any gram panchayat from the state from which he is elected, but the nominated members of Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha, they can choose any rural area of any district in our country. Okay, so that's all. So next, let's move to the next question. The next question is about good governance index. So let's see the first option. Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs has launched good governance index. So this is factually incorrect because it is Ministry of Personal Public Grievances and Pensions that has basically launched good governance index. So statement 1 is wrong. Statement 2 says the objective of good governance index are to provide quantifiable data to compare the state of governance in all the states and union territories. So this is correct because good governance index has been used to compare the level of governance of different states and union territories. So only 2 is the correct answer, that is option number B. Now let us move to the little deeper. So good governance index is nothing but it's an index which has been made so that we can measure the performance of different states and different union territories, and that comparison should not be crude but that comparison should be reasonable. And so to make the comparison reasonable, the states and union territories, they have been divided into 3 groups, that is big states, northeast and hill states, and union territory. Why this kind of category? So that we can compare the same states. For example, we will not compare Jharkhand with Nagaland, or we are not going to compare Maharashtra with Dadar or Nagar Haveli, but comparison will be on same level. Okay, so let's move to the next question. So this question is again a very easy question based on Budapest Convention. So what is, let's read the option. The convention is a sole legally binding international multilateral treaty on cyber crime. So this is absolutely correct because Budapest Convention is the sole convention in the field of cyber crime which is legally binding in the area of international sphere. Now second is that India is a signatory to Budapest Convention. So this is factually incorrect because India has not signed Budapest Convention because India has many apprehension. India is basically apprehensive of the security feature, and so India has not signed Budapest Convention. So only A is the correct answer. So now let us go to little deeper. So what is Budapest Convention? Budapest Convention is nothing but it is also known as the Council of Europe Cyber Crime Convention. And this Budapest Convention, it was opened for signature in 2001, but it came into force in 2004. Now, this convention is the sole legally binding international multilateral treaty on cybercrime. And what it does, it basically coordinates. The work is to coordinate the cybercrime investigation between different nation states and criminalize certain cybercrime conduct. Apart from this, it also serves as a guideline to any country for developing any comprehensive national legislation against cyber crime. For example, when India enacted IT Act and whenever India amends its IT Act, then it draw inspiration from Budapest Convention, even though India is not a signatory. And this Budapest Convention, it also forms a framework for international cooperation between the state parties. Now, one thing you should also notice here is that in Budapest Convention, there is a supplemented protocol, and that protocol is on xenophobia and racism, which are committed through the use of computer system. So you must have seen that by the use of social media nowadays, people are passing xenophobic remarks or racist remarks. So that this issue has also been covered under this Budapest Convention. Okay. So now let's move to the next question. So next question is on Bhuvan Panchayat web portal. Fine. So which was in news recently. So let us read the statement. It aims to provide a geospatial services to aid Gram Panchayat development planning process. So that's very correct. And the government has recently passed this Bhuvan Panchayat web portal 3.0. Now the second is that it has been launched by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. So this is factually incorrect because Bhuvan Panchayat web portal has been launched by ISRO and not by Ministry of Panchayati Raj. So statement 1 will be correct. This question doesn't need much explanation because everything is clear here. So let's move to the next question. So this question is based on the politics between US and Iran. So let's read the question. So Iran has announced complete withdrawal from Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action in the wake of killing of General Soleimani. So after General Soleimani was killed, Iran has pulled back from Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. And in fact, Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action was under severe threat since Donald Trump came into power. So let us see the first statement. The first is this JCPOA is a deal between Iran and the P5 countries to limit Iran's nuclear program. So this statement is correct. Now next is International Atomic Energy Agency oversees the implementation of deal. So this is incorrect because the job of International Atomic Energy Agency is not to implement the deal. You should not get trapped into this word implementation of deal. But basically the role is there of International Atomic Energy Agency, but the role is limited to the regulation of nuclear part, but not the job is not to implement the deal. In fact, to implement the deal, the people have established a separate joint commission. Okay, so we have to choose incorrect statement. So only option 2 is incorrect here. So B will be the right answer. Now let us go a little deeper. So this is a very famous deal. So in 2015, Iran agreed that Iran will go for a long-term deal. And what was the long-term deal? The long-term deal was that Iran will go for limitation of its sensitive nuclear activities. And the deal was between Iran and P5+1. That is US, UK, France, China, Russia and Germany. Now, the deal was that Iran will also allow the international player, the international regulator, the inspector to come and they can inspect all the nuclear activities of Iran. And Iran said that Iran will go for all kind of compliance to whom? To International Atomic Energy Association as per the certain requirement of the deal. Fine. Now Iran also agreed that it will go for disable and removal of Arak reactor. So Arak reactor was a controversial reactor because US said that in Arak reactor Iran is basically developing nuclear bombs. Fine. So that's all. So we'll move to the next question. So this question is little bigger, so I will just read the question for you. The question is with reference to various initiatives dealing with cyber crimes in India, consider the following statement. So let us see the statement. The first statement is Cyber Safe Women initiative of Ministry of Women and Child Development aims to spread awareness against atrocities committed against children and women through cyberspace. So this is very correct that Cyber Safe Women initiative is an initiative which basically aims to spread awareness against atrocities committed against children and women. But this initiative has not been launched by Ministry of Women and Child, but Cyber Safe Women initiative is an initiative of Government of Maharashtra. And since it's a famous, very famous scheme, and it was quite famous in the world of cyber crime and hence in news. Now the second is the Cyber Crime Protection Against Women and Children scheme of Ministry of Home Affairs aims to have an effective mechanism to handle cyber crimes against women and children. So this is very correct. This is a scheme, that is Cyber Crime Prevention Against Women and Children, is a scheme of Ministry of Home Affairs. Now the third statement is Cyber Dost. Okay, Cyber Dost is a Twitter handle launched by Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology to spread awareness about cyber crime. So the job of Cyber Dost Twitter handle is definitely to spread awareness about cyber crime, but the Twitter handle has been launched by Ministry of Home Affairs and not by Ministry of Electronics. So only 2 is the correct answer. So let us go into a little deeper. So first about the Cyber Safe Women initiative that has been launched by Government of Maharashtra. Now, what is the objective of this scheme that has been launched by Government of Maharashtra? The objective is to educate, to create awareness about how the web is being used by anti-social elements and child predators to commit various types of crime. It basically aims to create awareness on the cyberspace in the light of increasing the number of cases where women and child are targeted. Fine. Now, about this one, the second one, that is a cyber crime prevention against women and children. So this scheme is by Ministry of Home Affairs, and Ministry of Home Affairs has kept many components within this. Like some of the features are online cyber reporting platform, then cyber forensic laboratory, training of police officers, judges and prosecutors. You might be knowing that police officers are not so much well versed with this this cyber crimes and all. And apart from this, it has components like cybercrime awareness activities, research and developments of cyber crimes, etc. Fine. So that's all about up to this class. So I hope you liked the class. Please like and subscribe our channel for more such videos. Thank you very much. Thank you.